If you ask someone what the meaning of life is, their answer will be unique from someone else's answer. And that's because there's no objective answer to that question. You could ask me, and I would tell you my answer, and I will, but first, ask yourself. Take a moment to find your answer. Life is all about possibilities. Likely you and I will have different answers, but it is possible that your answer aligns directly with mine. But regardless of our answers, neither one of us is wrong, and that extends beyond just the meaning of life, because you can find meaning in anything. So what do I think the meaning of life is? Well, it's love. Love is everywhere and takes many forms beyond romance and family. When you say hi to a stranger on the sidewalk and smile at them, that's love. I smoked a joint with a new friend of mine recently, and he said to me, sharing weed is love. Even something as simple as drinking water is love because you are caring for your body. So where am I going with all this? Well, this is my first video. This video will have little to no views, and that's perfect because that means if you're watching this, then the video found its way to you. I watch a lot of videos myself, and the ones that have impacted me the most have always found their way to me. In the last 3 or 4 months, man, my life has transformed. I had a spiritual awakening, and I believe that people can learn from my experiences, but I can also learn from your experiences, right? The best way for all of us to grow is to share those experiences with one another. One of the best things that happened to me was ego death. When you become aware of the architecture of your own mind, you see yourself objectively. Do you ever think about the fact that you are not your body? You are a conscious observer inside that body. You start to recognize that constant voice in your head as foreign because it is foreign, and it's somewhat scary when you realize the voice in your head is not you. The only thoughts that belong to you are the ones you consciously articulate. Do you ever make a mistake and think, oh, I'm such an idiot, why did I do that? Well, you're not an idiot, and that voice calling you an idiot is not even your voice. Once you see all of this, there's no unseeing it, and there's no going back. The silence at first is deafening, but then you adjust. The newfound quiet in your mind clears the way for deep, creative, and conscious thinking. It allows the real you to shine. I always wanted to start making videos, man, ever since I first created this channel, all the way back in 2011 when I was just a little kid, back in the days of Call of Duty commentaries. But I never made videos as a kid, as a teenager, or as an adult, until one day I thought to myself, why am I not doing it? I have so many thoughts and opinions I like to talk about. I'm a creative person. I play video games, so my video format is already decided. There's literally nothing to lose. For this video, I'm probably going to attach some Liminal Core gameplay. I would highly recommend checking that game out if it looks like your cup of tea. Lately, man, I've just been shifting from video games where it's all about shooting and fighting to games where I just kind of exist, like Liminal Core. When you think of difficulty in video games, usually what comes to mind first is something like Elden Ring, right? But Liminal Core's difficulty is personal to each player. So spatial awareness, navigation, and memory are vital in a game like this with intentionally confusing spaces, but the true difficulty and horror lies in unraveling the plot. You're never going to be told outright what the story is. Instead, you get to face the dread of cyclical abuse, misplaced nostalgia, and buried trauma. This game inflicted a psychological horror like I've never experienced before. But the reason I am now drawn to these types of games is because of presence. Through my experiences, I developed a much deeper presence, much deeper happiness, and a much deeper connection to myself and the universe. I look at this world and it looks like a dystopia, and that's because it is. I was standing in line the other day with like 6 other people, all of them with their eyes glued to their phones. Meanwhile, I was just standing there being mindful and present. I like to pay attention to my senses, and that's when I saw that I was the only one not on my phone, but also I was the youngest person in line. In that moment, I felt like the weirdo, but I wasn't, because it's natural for a human being to be present, yet somehow we have normalized this overusage of phones. So why even call them phones at this point? They're pocket-sized computers with the convenient built-in phone function. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to judge anybody who uses their phone a lot, right? I just don't get it. I don't get why people scroll TikTok or Instagram. I mean, I understand why they do it, but I personally don't get it, almost like I'm missing something, right? So what is on there that's so interesting? Because in my opinion, life is way more interesting and it's happening around you every moment. Even the mundane moments I've come to be fascinated by. This one time I was blueberry picking and I was sitting on the ground by a blueberry bush picking berries, but then I just stopped and noticed how soft the grass was on the ground, how soft the leaves of the blueberry bush were. I stayed there for quite a while, just feeling the bush and the grass, running it through my fingers. The whole world stopped for a moment, and I had this awareness that I'm nothing more than a biological function, a human, in a larger biological process, the Earth. There's real value in recognizing the significance of our insignificance as humans. Right? So I look back on my old life before awakening, and I was never truly living. Now that I'm finally alive, I live life with love in my heart. I aspire for more, but I appreciate what I have. And like I said before, the best way for us to grow is to share our experiences. So if you made it this far, then I thank you. My only goal here is for my words to help people, even if that's just one person. And your words have the power to help others too. So if my words spoke to you, then please feel free to share your words because I guarantee they will speak to me.